sometimes it takes you saying something out loud for you to fully process what actually happened. I was telling my friends the other week about a date that I went on, and it wasn't until I told them the story out loud that I actually went, oh, I see what happened there. I went from London to a city outside of London on the train to meet this man, and I paid for my train.
This was your first mistake. I'm not saying you should never travel to meet someone. I mean, they could be your potential husband, your life partner. I understand the motivation, but at the same time, he doesn't show that he's as interested, as invested. Why doesn't he travel to you at least for the first date? Why doesn't he make that effort? I see some people, some men comment sometimes that the man doesn't have to do it all. He doesn't have to court the woman and do this and do that. And I am open to trying and understand that perspective. But at the same time, come on, this is the first date. He doesn't have to make her do this, at least not the first time. He should have traveled to her, and then if there is potential, if they're happy, if they get along, they can make an arrangement. They can reach an agreement, and they can agree to make her travel to him sometimes if he's busy or whatever, depending on their schedules and personal circumstances. However, making her do this much for a first date is just forcing the girl to step into her masculine energy on day one. We can only imagine what this guy is going to be comfortable with making her do. He's going to make her do everything. He's going to dump the entire effort on her. He's going to make her carry the entire relationship because he would have seen on day one that she doesn't mind, that she will do it all. And unfortunately, he could take advantage of that. It's making her look desperate, and it's not a position she want to be in on the first date. She's traveling all the way to this man. It shows that she doesn't have any man that would be interested in her own city, which clearly is not true. But this is the idea, the impression that she's given. On the other hand, if he would have done it because he's a man, so he's supposed to be masculine anyway, it would have just seemed like he's very invested, very interested. He really want to make it work, and he's a go-getter. He's going out of his way to impress this woman because he liked her, because she was chosen by him. And all she will have to do is accept that effort. And I think that would have been more reasonable.
Literally not a problem. No questions there. I arrive in said place and he said, oh, we're going to go to the cinema. And I said, great. Yeah, okay, we'll go to the cinema. Shall we have something to eat before the cinema? Because obviously, if you're in a cinema, you don't actually talk to the person. So it's not a great date, but it's fine. And obviously in those cinema places, there aren't many places to eat, but there was a Nando's, and I love a Nando's. Garlic barbecue I saw is back today. Big up to them for that. And we got there and we sat down, and I think the QR code wasn't working, or there was bad signal or something. So one of us had to go up to order, and it felt a bit like awkward, us both sort of getting up from the table that we just both sat down in. So I went, oh, don't what do you want? I'll go up and order it.
If she goes and makes the order for both of them, that means that she will have to pay for both of them. And I'm not saying that she has a problem with that. She sounds easygoing, laid back. She probably doesn't have any problems, but it's clearly unattractive to her because she has to mention it, and it's making her lose interest, I guess. She also mentioned that she paid for her train ticket. And I know that she said that she doesn't mind and it's cool and it's okay. But the fact that she even mentioned it shows me that she didn't want to. But she still went all the way and she still played along because she had hopes for this guy, I guess. High hopes. Again, like I said, if you're not the type of girl to split the bill or to pay for the guy's meal on a first date, cover the entire bill, then the least you should do, I'm not saying you should argue back and force him to pay. He doesn't want to pay, you can pay for your share. I understand that. You don't need to confront him. It doesn't need to turn into a huge argument. You don't know this guy is a stranger anyway. You don't know what he's capable of. It's a first date. If a guy asks you to pay, you just pay for your share. If you feel that that's a bad move, you can choose to eliminate him, never see his face again. Nobody can argue with that. It's your life, your standards. You're free to do what you feel is best for you. However, if you don't like covering the entire bill or splitting the bill, at least should not be the first person to suggest you do such a thing, because you're just trapping the guy. If he doesn't say anything, you say nothing either, and you wait, you look at him, and as uncomfortable as that silence is, you're still giving him a chance to save himself, because you're not insisting and running around and jumping on your feet and trying to cover the bill or split the bill when he didn't ask first. I'm just saying, if this is a turn off for you, if you don't like splitting the bill or covering the entire bill or whatever, then the least you can do is not offer to do it and insist on doing it and then going home disappointed and eliminating the guy and never seeing him again.
So I go up and pay for both the Nando's. Again, fine. Listen, I'm not saying anything. I literally offered. So I go and I pay for the Nando's in the city that I've traveled to.
See, clearly it's bothering her. And the fact that she offered, she knows, she understands that she can't blame him for this because she offered and then she has to go and pay for it. And the guy doesn't think he did anything wrong at this point. He is oblivious. The guy thinks that this is okay because she offered. He didn't even ask her. He thinks he's in the clear. He thinks she's this type of a girl anyway. Even if he had no intention of doing 50-50, he thinks you're that type of girl because you asked and you offered and you insisted. Even if he was the type to cover the entire bill in his previous or last relationship, he wouldn't be that type of man with you because you're just running around, not giving him the chance to step into his masculine energy, not letting him sort it out, and you're intervening and interfering with his masculine energy.
Anyway, it's fine. Then we have the Nando's and we arrive at the cinema next door. And we go to the counter and like he hasn't gone to the counter. So I'm just walking. So I guess I go up and I say, okay, one ticket. And we discussed, I can't even remember what the film was. No, I don't remember. One ticket to this place because I wasn't about to now pay for his cinema ticket because I was drawing a line in that behavior from me. I was saying, you've traveled with train fare. You've paid for his Nando's and your Nando's. So actually, I'll pay for my own cinema ticket. I'm not expecting him to pay for it, but I'm not paying for his. Mm-hmm. That was a man trying to scam me. How apt.
If I would have paid for my train ticket and if I would have paid for both our Nando's, there is no way I'm going to go to the counter in the cinema and ask to pay for my own ticket because that's out of the window now. We're clearly not splitting bills here. He made me pay for the entire bill and he made me cover the bill in Nando's. And not to mention, I paid for my train ticket to even be present here. I would have spent all day in the hallway or the reception or whatever you want to call it, that entrance area of the cinema. I'm not going to go to the counter. He has to step up. He has to do it at some point. Or he has to find the audacity to ask me to go to the counter and pay for my own ticket because the lunch I just paid for is still in his stomach. It's not been digested yet. And I don't want to be petty, but if he made me pay, then clearly it's his turn to return the favor and pay for both our tickets.
Anyway, I said, I'm not paying for his cinema ticket. I'm not a mug already. I was showing signs of being a mug, but I'm not a mug. So I said to the person, and it wasn't ordering screens, it was specifically a person. And I feel like he had gotten us to this point. I can't remember. And I said, one ticket to this, please. And he followed it up with, and another one. I have a buy one, get one free voucher. As in, I ordered my cinema ticket and he said, I have a buy one, get one free voucher, meaning the man just wanted to go to the cinema for free. But in order to go to the cinema for free, he needed somebody to pay for a ticket.
And that somebody happens to be you, unfortunately, someone who doesn't even live in the same city. You had to get the train, go all the way to another city, pay for his lunch and yours just for this moment to arrive. He must have been counting the seconds and waiting for the moment where you're going to pay for his ticket. I mean, for your own ticket. But then again, like he said, he has a buy one, get one free. This is sad. Like, why would you be coming for my cash as a grown man? I'm just a girlie after all. I have expenses that no grown man has. He cannot have the expenses that I have as a girl. So why would he be coming for a girl's money? We have to buy makeup. We have to buy period pads. We have to buy 20,000 high heels when men wear the same two shoes the entire year around. How petty do you have to be to pull something like this off? Very disappointing. Anyway, if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. I will be making a series about men that are extremely cheap on first dates. So I think this will be the first video on that playlist or series, whatever you want to call it. And again, if you are a single woman dating strategically and actively for marriage, I have built a community for you specifically, and you can find the link for it in the description box under this video. So go ahead and check it out at least. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be of interest. And for now, I'm gonna say you take care of yourself and I will see you there.